Hey, my name is Mike, and my wife and I are about a week into potty training our oldest son. His name is Nathan. We also have a little girl named Quinn, who's about 5 months. And I've been really involved and engaged in the process of potty training and wanted to share some of the things that have worked, some of the things that I'd like to remember for the next time we're doing this with our little girl, and also share a couple pieces of advice that no one had shared with us. So one of the big things that we did is waited until Nathan was showing signs of being ready. So we didn't want to force the issue of potty training, so we really waited until he was showing real big time interest in going potty. So some of those were just things like asking to go. One of the big things we noticed is before bath time, he'd want to go tinkle on the potty versus going in his diaper. And there were just little things like that we saw more and more, and we were also hearing from his teachers at his awesome daycare here in Bend, Oregon. So once we were ready, and we felt like Nathan was ready, one of the second things we did is we really planned a weekend where we were going to be all in, completely focused on potty training. So we almost had a boot camp. So we read a couple blogs. I'll put those links in the description below in case you're interested in checking those out. And we really set out to make sure that we were on the same page for a couple days of complete focus on potty training. So a couple of things that we did were on the first day, which was a Saturday, is we set a timer. So every 15 minutes we took Nathan to the potty, asked him to go, and he usually would try, and oftentimes he'd go. And if he went tinkle, he'd get an M&M. And if he went poop, he would get a little dum-dum sucker. And we'd read a lot about having your kids either be naked or not have at least underwear on. And Nathan was so excited about wearing his new fun underwear, which I'll talk about here in just a minute, that we elected to keep underwear on him. So Nathan was just underwear on, a t-shirt, sweatshirt, whatever else. And for 2 straight days, just underwear, and every set amount of time getting on the potty. So within that focus, my wife and I, within the weekend, the 2-day focus, we decided that we were gonna always be positive. And so if you had an accident, we would move on. So very much positive reinforcement. We would not get mad if he had an accident, but we would always reinforce going to the bathroom. And right out of the gate, one of the things that we noticed is that going tinkle was pretty easy for him. We actually didn't have any accidents in the first 2 days. But going poop was a little bit of a harder thing for him. And I think it's, more intimate. He wanted more space, which he's always needed, even going in his diaper. And so we did have a couple incidents in his underwear. However, by the 3rd day, we were doing pretty good. And about a week later, we're actually feeling great in terms of where we're at in terms of going pee and poop in his diaper. So I wanted to also share just a couple things from a toy or gadget standpoint that have really made a big difference for my wife April and myself over this past week. The first and biggest one for us is this guy. So this is just a little Baby Bjorn branded toilet, and you can pull out the lid or the bowl or whatever and go clean it out, dump it in the toilet, which has been great. And Nathan has really liked the fact that it's his. So that's been a super cool thing for us. We've got a couple different bathrooms here in the house, and so the other thing we did is we bought these little stools. So we've got a stool at the base of a couple of our main bathrooms, and we also have these lids so that Nathan can fit comfortably on top and get himself on and off should he choose to go on his own. So quick summary, because this is kind of a little bit rambly, but that's sort of by design, is we really and saw Nathan respond well by having 2 days of structure. So the first day, every 15 minutes, we went onto the potty. Day 2, we did every 20 minutes. And 1 weekend later, which would be this weekend right now, we're checking in with Nathan, but he's actually starting to tell us that he needs to go potty. And we haven't had any accidents, which has been great. The other thing is really making sure that you're being positive, really praising, reinforcing when he's doing great. and giving him an M&M after he's gone pee-pee and that little sucker after he's gone poop has been a really nice way just to get the whole family excited, pumped up, and Nathan certainly feeling motivated to keep doing that. And outside of that, don't get down. Like, we've definitely had already a couple lulls. I caught myself today getting pretty frustrated when there was an accident. So I guess I shouldn't say there haven't been any accidents. There was an accident. And move on. Like, it's no big deal, but control the controllables. So what I mean by that is when you're leaving someplace, make sure you go to the bathroom. And even if it's only 10 minutes later, you're getting to the grocery store or a restaurant, go to the bathroom. And so there just becomes this frequency that I think starts to really ingrain the habit in your little one. But you'll do great. If you ever do have any questions, I'd love to field them. But I'll wish you the best, and it's an awesome adventure.